That's
Okay.
where that user first part?
No. And maybe I need to actually move this up. There are additional classes. This is actually in the zone. Because we have all this here, the main zone settings.
Oh, that's additional zone classes.
Yes, this is what we also saw in the little drop down
Yep.
on one of those configurations was these types of settings. Now these are the individual regions that are appearing inside. And so these class boxes will apply to the region, that one will apply to the wrapper center.
Gotcha. Well, the help text says it all.
Yes, it's hidden because of this admin theme.
Yeah.
It hides them and you don't see it. So you can quickly change the size of the regions. Well, what I will show, basically the last piece to test here, a dynamic zone, switching this to where, the way we currently had it, we have the user menu and then the search box. What if I wanted to do it the other way around? I want to make it a dynamic zone. And we can see a few extra things pop up, like you get to apply a primary region. In the example of content and two sidebars, content is your primary region. Because you have two sidebars on some situation, the primary region won't really be important. They're both going to have something in it. But it basically says, if some of these regions are empty when we try to put them on the page, where should we give this extra space to? And that's the region you would select here. And we can see, if I switch back and forth again, also down here under the settings, we have an order.
Is there a setting for none,
None will.
like primary region, if you didn't want to give one of them extra space?
You wouldn't use a dynamic zone.
Yeah, it'll be a setting.
Oh, okay, so that's the definition of dynamic, is one of them will expand.
I think that's why, like, they must stay in line. Like, it's going to take the full width of the container, not necessarily the widths that are here, and then it's going to determine what's there and how to place it. But because I changed this now to a dynamic zone, now there is an extra drop down here for order. And right now, user bar first is obviously first, and second is second. But if I wanted to switch these,
Is that the display order on the screen?
that is actually,
Source order, right? Yeah, which is
give me a minute here.
Maybe you can put your mouse over.
This is a dynamic zone, so these still appear user bar first and user bar second. I can show this. So, okay, we can see that I've changed that, and now in this form, actually, second is appearing above first. So it's
Yeah.
ordering this form in the order they're going to appear on the page. But now if I close this,
since you labeled user bar first as the primary.
No, it's hard coded as to what the order is in the source, he's just changing the display.
yes, the primary one is just like if, in this case it won't matter, but because we had the search box and then the login buttons and all that, if one of those were missing, like if there were three,
Oh, so
Better example.
primary is just determine which one gets extra space and is available.
better example, if sidebar second, if I take that out, content's gonna go all the way to the end, because content's assigned as primary. So in this example, the primary zone doesn't matter because they're both there.
You just changed header, right? So you just changed, oh no, you changed user bar.
User bar. So now the search is over here, the links are over there, and yeah, it's kind of meant to go the other way. So if I look actually, what we have here, the search was in the second box. The links were in first. But in the code, we have user bar first and second still in order. So looking back, so in the source order, it's coming first and second. And in the theme settings, we have made it be second and then first.
You might want to put that over the display, that is someplace where it says user bar first, this is source ordered first. Because you're letting them change it, but that's only for display order. In the source, it's still the other way.
Right. And the easy way, and this will also happen when it's rewriting .info files, if you change the order in the .info file, that's how it will source order them. So when you actually create your regions in .info, or when you create your zones and assign the regions to them.
So right now, you actually could have two order things. You actually could, because you're writing the info file now, right, when you save it?
No.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm doing it.
I was gonna say, because you could have display order, source order, and have them be separate selectors.
I kind of agree to that. I like that. But like, God, it's really hard to see. How the way each of these are placed and the way they're all named, first, second, third, it's very clear by my own naming that that's the order they're rendered in source. But then if you make it a dynamic zone, you can do whatever the hell
It
you
does the
want.
pushes and pulls and moves them around as needed.
Right. So this is where some of that would change with that drag and drop, but it's set up in a way now that'll make it. But that's really kind of the best tour. Content zone was one that is assigned as dynamic, and we can see. That's kind of weird.
Whoops.
They're displaying right on page, but they're wrong order here. Anyway, but we can see sidebar first is supposed to be first, content is in the middle.
Greg, I don't know.
Yeah, would you? But
Fingers
another
pretty tired.
quick example, if I actually want to put the content first, and then sidebar first, I actually want to put last, sidebar second in the middle. All I have to do is change those orders. Let my page refresh. Content, sidebar second, sidebar first. So that's the grand tour, and all of it's dynamic now. The theme settings, Greg, like the way we were talking, where it was like 2 pages of theme settings just for the header section.
Sure.
Now it is all 100% dynamic. It reads the zones, generates the settings. So if you want to add a new set of regions,
And you said you've already posted what you're showing here for download as alpha or something like that?
yes. This is now Alpha 1. So I just added 2 regions there. And I know it's very hard to see. I'm going to come down and add in. Where's, oh,
Sweet Mary.
like that? Alright.
How long did you spend rendering the ASCII titling at the top of the info file?
I just found a website. Did it for me.
How long did you spend looking for the website? that-
Somebody sent me the link.
Why do you have your regions first in the info file if they're continually zones?
It defines the regions because that's built into Drupal, and zones are defined by the theme.
Oh,
It's a grouping, so. if
That part
it's
actually-
defined by
Won't matter, like in the .info they could come in any order you really wanted. So very quickly I added 2 new regions, called regardless whatever. And then I added a new zone called extra.
No, you gotta change
Oh, whoops.
it. Change that up a little bit too.
Thanks, Seth. We're saving on the presentation fail. And we actually do have to, the way Drupal does that is it doesn't read the .info until you go back to the page. If we came in and look at settings now, all the way to the bottom,
Sweet.
we now have an extra zone. We want to enable it. We'll make it static, 12. About 7 and 5, add up to 12. And if we were to save it,
Let's
Refresh the page.
it does it automatically. Oh, fail.
see it for the first time.
Oh, I know what it is. 1 second. You have to go to the blocks page because of the module that I'm using to place my magical blocks.
Oh, it has to quickly rebuild the blocks and make new blocks for the new pages.
Yep, there they are. So now, close. And that's just because of my testing purposes, the way I do that. So that quickly in code, in the current way, to add new zones that have all the same features and then get them on the page, wherever you want them. In this one, I put them below the footer, but if I were to move them above anything else, they would be rendered first.
So basically by having 4 lines, you just added a new section.
Yep. Whole new section.
Really cool.
And one of the other things people were killing me about, because the logo branding all up here, actually with the menu, this is a static region. In a lot of cases, the sites I build, logos may be really small and the menu is actually up here in line with that. But a lot of people were just like getting really pissy because they wanted the menu full width. They still wanted their logo region, but they wanted this section to be for their big old awesome banner images to link to somebody's site. So now, like, this is a special region that doesn't have traditional blocks in it, but in this zone, now you can add another region and you can put it in the middle of these two and you can have your little thing, like your little banner ad, wherever you want to put it.